We're going to jump right into it. There's so many of us that have been going in certain directions in life as it pertains to our finances. We've had access to certain things, but we have not had access to many more things, many more resources, networks, opportunities, so on and so forth. But once you get new access, you should be able to take advantage of it, change your situation, and eventually change the situation of the generations to come. So tonight we're going to talk about that problem. We're going to talk about a solution and how you can be part of that solution. So before we get started, my name is Brian Street. A lot of you may know me, many more of you may not. I've been in the economic education and mentorship space, specifically for the transitional age youth, for about 6 years now, where I've been able to help develop a youth financial master plan for the city of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I've been able to help with the development of a financial therapy workbook where individuals do financial behavior coaching from. And I've been able to develop a few different mentoring programs where financial education has been a core component of them. And as of recent, I've been able to partner with the individual that you're going to be hearing from tonight to continue to up my game, to up my knowledge, to increase my wherewithal so that I can do the same for the future generations. So if you look at this in front of you, what is the problem that we're facing? Most people just do not have what it takes to start that journey of creating generational wealth. And why is that something that continues to persist? And that's because the education isn't there. There's not a lot of education on how to truly generate real income. And then on top of that, once the income generation component has been addressed, people really don't know how to use their income to create wealth. So that's what we're discussing tonight, learning how to use your income to create wealth, but also making sure that you position yourself to truly understand income, to understand finance, to understand all the different areas along the spectrum of your finances and take advantage of all the resources available to be able to capitalize on that. Now, this is part of our solution, is really developing a team of wealth educators, individuals who are willing and ready to learn new information, to implement new information into their lives, to see their situation change, and ultimately to position themselves to be an agent of change to help individuals around them in their circle and their network start to change their situation. Now, I mentioned the $100 million run group. Many of you may be familiar with it, many may not. And pretty much it's an organization, it's a group, it's a community that was developed by Holder, and you'll learn a little bit more about him here shortly. But he created this community to help people like me and you to gather the resources, to have access to the resources, the support, and the information to change our situations as it pertains to starting our own business, creating a legacy for ourselves by starting said business, taking that business to profit, and creating 6- and 7-figure incomes from that business to collectively amass $100 million as a group. So it's about the village. It's about the village helping the village. And as a village, we become that community of true wealth. Now, the company that we've been able to partner with, Chris had tons of success in various different financial spaces. I've had knowledge that I've been able to gain in various different financial spaces. But a lot of times you need that partnership that has those extra little pieces of the puzzle that you may not have, those extra tools, those extra resources to make the full picture so much more clear. So we partnered with a company by the name of United Wealth Education, where they've been in business for going on 17 years now? 17 years now, 100% debt free. So you want to attach yourself to individuals that don't have that overhead that's keeping them from really being able to invest in the mission. And they've been able to help individuals all across the nation to create wealth while at the same time eliminating debt. Now, this is Holder. This is the guy, the creator of the $100 million run group. As you can see here, you can read it for yourself. He had his ups and downs, but once he had his up, he said, you know what? I'm going to pour it into others. So he focuses on helping people create their first $100,000 and however much further they desire to go. He went from being homeless, living in a car, to ultimately becoming a millionaire before he hit the age of 30. And while he did so, he partnered with so many different companies, helped them become 6 and 7 figure revenue generators. And you can see some of those here below in the cryptocurrency space. A lot of big news happening in that space as it pertains to his partnership. And the stock market space. You've been watching, if you pay attention to the stock market, there's been a lot of turbulence here over the last couple of years, and he's been able to really capitalize off of that. Real estate space that he's been in for quite some time now, bringing knowledge and resources to so many people who are looking to get their first property, become an investor, anything real estate. Innovative technology, Capture Me in 3D, one of the companies that he's partnered in that really has been able to do some unique things with some big names across, across the nation. Jewelry company, if you look really closely on his hand that is folded over, there's a pretty nice sized ring that he's wearing. He was actually one of the creators behind that piece, and he does the exact same thing for people all over the nation, all over the world, really. They're looking to get some type of jewelry. And then also in network marketing, multi-level marketing space, he's been able to help people learn a new way, a more simplistic way to create multiple streams of income and start to build a legacy for their family. These are a few of the companies, a few of the brands that he's been able to attach himself to that have seen the value that he has to offer and allowed him to come in and work with them, written up partnership agreements with him because they wanted to be affiliated with him because of the affiliations that he had before. And if you look on the far side, both sides, you got the Wall Street Journal, you got Yahoo Finance, you got Fox 26, you got business.com, Business Daily News. When you can attach yourself to companies like these, that lends a pretty decent amount of credibility to what it is you're talking about. And these would be two of his major features, two of his primary features here in the Wall Street Journal and Yahoo Finance. So definitely when you listen to, when you hear, when you're in front of someone that has earned the credibility to be in these types of publications, you probably want to pay attention. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic over. Chris Holder, how's it looking, man?
We're good, B, man. Thanks so much for the intro. Always appreciate you kicking us off here. And I want to thank you guys for taking some time out of your evening to just go over this information with us and see if what we are putting together is a movement that you'd want to be a part of. We have a lot of things that we could be doing, but we chose to take a couple minutes out to learn about growing wealth and making it a part of a daily conversation and being a part of that change. So as Brian said, I've been in business a while. I've, come from very humble beginnings in that sense. I've made some mistakes that put me in a bad position, but from those mistakes, I learned a lot and I made promises to myself. And one of those promises was to make sure that I made an impact where I felt it really needed to be made. And no matter what I did, no matter where I went, no matter where I traveled in the world, I recognized that financial literacy, learning how to invest, just basic budgeting, things like that, were not something that the world system was going to teach. And I felt like, it was something that I could. And I started to build the business and the things that I've done now around that concept. How can I help, another person gain that? And then how can they then learn to do the same thing? And us all win together. So, let's just jump to the next slide and go through this presentation so you guys can see what we're talking about. So, we're talking about generational wealth and those people who are big on numbers. Probably most of the presentation you're going to like because I'm a numbers person, and for people that don't really like numbers, I think you'll appreciate it because people lie and numbers don't, right? That's the idea, right? So I want you guys to take a look at the first little area there where you see that little pie chart, and it says minorities held only 5.9% of the nation's wealth in 1990. Now, when most people hear minorities, society has you locked into a color. And it's so crazy when I hear that because when you look at how minorities are actually classified, it's classified based on income, okay? So color has nothing to do with being a minority. In most cases, when they look at what's considered a minority, they're considering it if you are just about broke, almost broke, or just part of a particular group. So the wealth of the nation was 5.9. Now, I want you guys to take a look all the way to 2019. So we're talking about 1990. I don't know if you guys can remember what you were doing in 1990, but during that time, I want you to think about how much has changed. And in that time, the gap only increased, a percentage and some change. And that's for the minorities. For obviously, the thing that really jumped out is the fact that something's missing, right? There's a problem. It should have been a bigger jump from that, right? Now, when you take a look at individuals who received inheritance, right? They got an inheritance, only 10% for minorities, 30% for the wealthy class, right? And almost double the amount. Let's take a look at income wise, not income from a single individual wise, I'm sorry. So a single individual, 35 years of age, okay, average, single male minority, about 1,500, single minority female, about 100, single wealth female, about 65, 6,500. And for that male, it's about 23,000. Now, if you guys take a look at the top, it says as of 2019, the average net worth of a minority household, that's a full household when they do that. They look at the parents. There's two parents in this household. Okay. The net worth of that household was about 30,000 compared to about almost 200,000 for the wealthy household. That's a major gap. It is a major gap. But why is that, right? I want you guys to ask yourself this question, real simple. You guys see it there. Where did I learn that it was possible to become a millionaire and how? When you think about your entire life, when did it happen for you? When did someone sit you down and said, hey, you can become a multimillionaire? And here's how you're going to do it. I want you guys to think about that. And if you guys can figure that out, I want you guys to ask yourself that question. It'll make a big difference, right? So I want you guys to stop for a second and write down the one time in your life where that happened. I want you guys to take a second for this, and you can put that in the chat. I'm gonna give you guys literally a minute to do that. It's very important. All right. It's been literally a minute. So we got Never. We've got March, not from family. Anybody else want to jump in? This is important because as we go through this, it's important to understand that we can all identify the problem uh, uh, right from here, right from just our chat. So if you guys wouldn't mind continuing, if you're willing to add, that'll help. But as you guys can see here, school doesn't teach it. So we know you're not learning it from like the traditional school system. Okay. Most minority families aren't the ones teaching it. So most families aren't the ones sitting down going through. So it's like, but if you're not going to learn it from home, really, and if you're not going to learn it from school, well, somebody's got to teach you about it. And that's where the problem comes in. You need a community, a network, a support group, because that's what a lot of the wealthy communities have. They're able to share information, share knowledge, help each other, and put each other on, and it makes a big difference. Obviously, the numbers show it, right? So here's how our community addresses this problem. We address it twofold. So I want you guys to put yourself in the middle. And as you can see, you are now the key to the future of generational change. So we're going to use you, okay? But to do that, you're going to need two things. You're going to need two kind of portions to look at it, right? So the first side is our $100 million run group. Now that group, we have monthly free tools and support to help you learn. This is where the education. So our concept is based off of something very simple. Learn it, use it so that you can change it. Very simple, okay? Now here's a list of some calls. It's not all the calls, but it's a list of calls that you actually have access to. So from whether it's our relationship call, our financial Fridays, our budgeting, our generational wealth, as you see, these are all calls that you can tap into to actually get that learning portion, that education, that information that you're not getting from anywhere else. But now, once you get that, one of the things you have to think about is you might want some resources, you might want some tools. So we've partnered with UWE, United Wealth Educators, and what we do there is we take advantage of their budgeting tools, their net worth tools, their credit restoration tools, the credit builder tools, the saving tools, and much more. So when you combine imagine that you have the information that you need on one side. And then on the other side, not only do you have the resources, but you actually have tools that you can use to apply the information that you're getting immediately. It's impossible for you not to be able to change something because you're actively doing it right there, right? All right. So, as we mentioned before, after you learn it, we recommend it's time to become an ambassador. Now, whether you want to or not, once you start making changes in your life, people are going to start asking questions. People are going to want to know what you're doing. So we want to make sure that we show you how to line this all up so that this way can impact your bank account. Now, all of this being said, when we take a look at business, there's some key things that make a difference in having success in business. And a lot of times it has nothing to do with being the smartest person in the world, with the connections, none of that stuff. It has to do with one thing: timing. See, if you go through history, most of the wealth that has been created in the world happened during the worst times in the world. Because from the worst times in the world, people were able to be a part of the rise during those times. If you take a look at all the way back to 1637, so all the way to right now, us dealing with COVID, you can find that our families have all had an opportunity to take advantage of real estate, the stock market, businesses, locations, so many different things that happened during that time. We just were not educated in the way needed to take advantage of it. And there were certain things that just weren't open for us. So the idea of it is that we don't have that problem today. So the timing is now. If you take a look at what's happening in the world, the timing is now to not only learn it, to not only use it, but to actually be able to change it. Let's go to the next slide and talk a little more about that. So we have to always think about what do people need. I'm very big on always asking people, what do you need? What do you really need help with? Most people need more income, as you guys can see there. They want to make it from home, knowledge on how to make more money, will, trust, power of attorneys, improving their buying power, better credit score, youth financial literacy. Just these are the things people need. But it's very hard for people to find it because the internet is a big place. And we try to put it all in one area as well. So the youth, right? The goal is for us to pass down generational wealth. We have to pass down education along with tools and, yes, some finances for those kids. So you could drop $1 million in a life insurance plan and your kid gets $1 million. But if you didn't take the time to educate them, if you didn't take the time to pour into them the way you need, that money's gone. That's why most inheritance money does not move past that generation. And the reason why is they never learned what to do. We have a chance to do it. Now, I know I've already done it, and a lot of individuals have been following suit. So I know we've already made a dramatic change because my kids are already better off than I was when I was their age. And more importantly, when they get to the age that they're able to benefit from the work being done. So I want you guys to take a look at a couple things. College. Knowledge on budgeting is not even being taught there. Knowledge on how to use credit cards and take advantage of it and things like that, none of that stuff is there. You have to figure it out by yourself. And that's why we continue to make the same mistakes. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again. Well, that means that we are literally insane to be doing the same things, thinking that we're going to get a different result. And that's where we want to make that change. So we mentioned the services, okay? Now we highlighted a few here. I want you guys to just take a look at all these different services that we have. Like I said, I highlighted a couple of my favorites. So I do the credit restoration because I was able to fix my credit using the services here. Savings goals, I'm always setting a savings goal and using the accountability to take advantage of it. I'm always using the budgeting tool. Just did my budget for the month, and it's always good to get your outlook on what things are going to be. Paying off some debt. You always want to make sure you get ahead of that and actually find ways to avoid paying that full interest. When should you make that next payment? What should that extra payment look like? Where should it go? How can I take a 30-year mortgage and cut it down to 15? What are some things that I can do? So yeah, that's why I love those tools. As you guys can see here, we have multiple other tools. Doesn't stop there. Along with the products and tools you just saw, there's traveling discounts that we get. We get discounts on certain prescriptions. So there's a lot of different benefits that we get being in this community. So that's the idea, is we want to make it a one-stop shop for things, all things wealth, all things money, so we can really be an impact for all the people we get connected to. So let's share a little bit more deeper into that on the next slide. So we're going to focus now on the change part. We already spoke about the education part. You got free monthly calls that covers everything. Anything you can think about money-wise, we got you. We spoke about how you're going to use it. We have the services. We have the tools needed. So you no longer have to use some of the outdated apps and some of the, if you're still writing things down, you don't have to. If you don't want to, you can use it as a backup, but we already have the solution there. So we have the $100 million run for that education. We have the UW for the product line. Now we got to focus in on how we're going to make you an ambassador for those that want to be that and generate some income from it. All right. So we have a very simple process here, guys. Super simple. You get on the products. We help change your life by you using it. You then go and refer someone else who was in your situation, or maybe they're looking to do something else. And for each referral that you pass to the company, they will pay you $100 upfront and $12 a month in residual income as long as the individual stays on the service. Now that blew me away because most people don't think about $12 is not a lot. Yeah, but when you start having results, and now $12 turns to $100, then turns to $1,200. Yeah, it becomes a game changer when you can start to look at the fact that the average income an individual makes is not that far off of what you could be getting residually, right? But then we take it to the next level. On our next slide, here's what happens to that person. That person now has an opportunity to make the same 100 and get the same 12, and then you get a benefit residually as well, and potentially an additional bonus as well. So the idea of it is that as you're growing by sharing your story and getting your results, individuals around you are going to want that too, and you can benefit, and that process will duplicate. So let's talk about how crazy the numbers could get. So here, you can make anywhere from an additional $100 to as high as $560 for helping individuals become ambassadors and actually spread the word. We want to make sure that if you're going to put the time and energy in, we would love for you to be doing this as a part of your brand, as a part of what you're doing, right? Because that's our goal here, right? Now, we've had individuals making tens of thousands of dollars a month, $100,000, and $500,000, a lot of that. And we have individuals who are making just an extra, $200 to $500 extra a month because that's what we're looking for. That extra $6,000 a year. Some people are using it to fund their Roth IRAs. Some people are using it to pay off debt. Some people are using it to save money for a down payment on a car or a home. But the idea of it, whatever that you're doing, why not have a little extra since you can do that, right? So our goal is to make sure that we take the time for that. But it doesn't just stop here with the type of ways the company is going to be able to incentivize you to go out and spread the word. We have our rest, relaxation, and retirement. See, the company's focus is, as you're generating income, we don't want a large portion of your funds to go to paying for bills. The idea is to be financially free, financially set. The only way to do that is if we can limit your bills. Most people, they said that 70% of most people's money, 70%, okay, is your car and your living situation. So imagine being able to eliminate that. And those are some of the additional bonuses and monthly payouts that the company's put in place for what you're doing. As you guys can see here, $600 a month in a car payment, $10,000 in a one-time bonus, $1,500 in an additional auto expense. So this way to continue to help you pay that car off. A one-time bonus of $25K, $50K cash bonus, and an upgrade option on the car $5,000 in a monthly house payment. Guys, I want you guys to think about this for a second. Imagine working very hard, building up a business or clientele around generational wealth, and then you start getting $5,000 a month to pay towards your mortgage. Man, game changing. Monthly retirement, okay, monthly retirement up to $25,000. So imagine funding your retirement, 10, 15, $20,000 additional a month. How about 100 to 250 in a lifetime monthly bonus, guys? There's a lot of money on the table for going out, spreading the word, and helping people change lives in an area that they're not going to get help. The thing that jumped out to me the most is I knew no one was coming to help me. I had to go help myself. So I said, once I was able to get to a place where I can help another, that's what I was going to do. Now, there's a couple options for you taking a look at the information. Like I said, appreciate you even coming out here and taking a look at what we have. First option is the free one. Free one, you don't have to do anything. Hey, Chris, I am interested, but right now, not really ready to make a move. I'm really not trying to build my credit. Really not trying to budget. I'm not trying to save or invest. I'm just hanging out right now. But I would like to, be on some of those calls and be a part of what you guys are doing slowly, and then figure out what I want to do later. No problem. Get back in contact with the person who got you here on this call, and they'll walk you through the steps to get you through what you need so you can be on our monthly calls, so you can get on the different calls we have going on to eventually help you get to where you want to go. Next is someone says, hey, I'm ready to at least try the services out myself. I do have a clientele. I do have some people that I think will be good for them. But you know what? I want to get on the products myself. Let me use them so I can be a little more excited. Okay, that's my process. Well, no problem for you. That customer, you're going to pay $188 one-time fee of upfront, and then $89 a month. Okay, and you'll be able to get full access to the actual product line, and you'll be able to start taking advantage of the longer you stay on it, the cheaper it becomes. So the longer you stay on as a customer, after your third month, your monthly expense goes from 89 to 69, and after a year, on your 12th month, the 13th month, you'll start paying $49 for all of the services that we just mentioned, okay? And then obviously you're the person that says, I want everything you just said, Chris, but when I refer someone, I want to get paid. I like those checks. I like what the company's doing. I want to be able to get a piece of that. No problem, okay? You're going to pay $299, okay? And that $299 will get you in as an actual business owner. And along with that, you're going to be able to sit down, start up using the services. We then connect you to the $100 million run program, okay? And we start to work with you on blending the services that we have here in the company with the brand that you are building. One of the unique things about how we build businesses is we're very focused on you having ownership. I've been blessed to build multiple businesses and help individuals create 6 and 7 figure companies from scratch. And the one thing that I've learned from owning a network marketing company to being a top earner in network marketing before, to running multiple 7-figure businesses, was that people just didn't know how to put the two together. How do you blend your own brand with services? And that's the key here. We're focusing on what you are actually going to be building. So if you don't have those things in place yet, that's what our monthly calls are for. We're going to help you establish the brand. We're going to help you establish that LLC if you don't have it. If you do have an LLC already, perfect. We're going to show you how to update the website, how to blend and integrate the services that are going to run better for your clients and for the individuals that you're going to be looking to speak with. So as long as you can actually have these things in place, you will be able to have more success, and more importantly, you will have more control over the things that you are going to need to do. You're going to have more control over your clientele, more control over how you're going to market, all these different areas, and we're going to be there to guide you along the way. But in the process, there's a couple of things to look at. There's an additional thing we have here. We have get 5 customers and your service is free. So one of the things that I want you guys to look at is that whether you are a customer, okay, and you're using the service, whether you are a business owner in that sense and you're using the service, if you get 5 customers or 5 referrals at any point in time, you're actually able to waive the monthly fee on those services. Now, once again, if you just choose to take the free route, if you will, then that means that you're just going to be taking advantage of the $100 million run and just the calls that we do on a monthly basis, like you saw earlier. And our goal is to help you actually take that information and turn it into profit. Okay. So that's pretty much what it is that we're doing here, guys. We're laying everything out. Our goal is to educate individuals and build up something that is your own, that truly is something that you are going to pass on while tapping into the services. So like I said, we are building 2 things into one, and that one thing is the company that we're going to be showing you how to build, which is your own. Okay. So we've just been blessed to take advantage of resources and tools in place with education that people are not sharing. So what I want you guys to do is, the person who invited you here on this call, please get back in contact with them. Let them know where you stand. Any questions that you guys have, any things you guys need, we will gladly like to set up a 3-way call, get on the line with you, and just make sure we go over everything so that you are clear on the process, you are clear on how things work, and more importantly, you are clear on the movement that's being put together that you can be a part of. So on that note, guys, I hope you guys have a blessed day, a blessed evening, and looking forward to helping anyone who decides to move forward with us in any capacity. You guys have a blessed night.